This is the quietest ever been in this clubhouse. A lot of peace. Formally, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this very somber and respectful honor and remembrance for D-Day. This is the 80th anniversary. Thank you for all being here today. It is my honor and my privilege to present to you the Virginia Servicemen's Color Guard, led by Captain Cam Jason. They're here to post the colors. Once they come to post the colors, we will have Pastor Burke sing the Star Spangled Banner. Mr. Lovato will play taps. They would retire, and then we'll begin our program. On behalf of all of us, Captain Cam Jason, the American Legion, and the Servicemen's Honor Guard, we welcome you. And please proceed with the colors. Everybody please stand and remove your hat.
Forward, march. Color guard, pose, colors.
Pastor Burke.
About face. Present arms.
Pastor Burke will now sing the Star Spangled Banner. Pastor Burke.
Please join in. Oh, say,
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
color guard, order, arms. Dismiss.
Stay up here. Please be seated. Pastor Burke? Pastor Burke will now lead us in an opening prayer.
Let us pray. Lord, our refuge and our strength, we remember on this day all those who lost their lives in Normandy 80 years ago, and many more who lost their lives during that war. We thank you that there are people in the world who are brave enough to fight against tyranny and oppression. We thank you that they were victorious. Always give us courage to do what is right in your eyes as we live out our lives. We pray that you would bring peace to our world. Give us leaders who understand the cost of war. Give us leaders who will work for peace. Give us leaders who will also stand up to tyrants. Make us fearless as our ancestors were. Save us from those who seek to dominate to the point that they would invade other countries. Help us to all love the things that you love so that we would naturally do the things that you would want us to do. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more time, would everyone please rise and help recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Now, I would now like to call upon Congressman Stauber sends his regrets. He's got Congress work to do. But John Alarenta, the aide to Congressman Stauber in this region, is here today. And I'm asking him to come and offer some remarks and introduce the Veteran Services Officer for the state of Minnesota in this area, Mr. Warpenton. Excuse me. Warts, excuse me, sorry. So thank you. Please come forward. And then he'll have a few remarks. Then we'll play a video message by Congressman Stauber and then move on to the rest of the program. Mr. Alarenta, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll let Congressman Stauber's remarks speak for themselves, but we do have, our office was able to provide some medals here for the Eugene Turcano's family that we were happy to provide. And I'll let Jake Workington, our veteran service advocate for our office, just explain very shortly what we offer for veterans and any problems you're having with the VA. But we really appreciate everyone showing up here to commemorate D-Day. So thank you.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Jake Workington. I'm the Veterans Advocate for Congressman Pete Stauber. I got the job through a Veterans Fellowship program, so I'm originally from Colorado, came here to do this on a Veterans Fellowship. I was a construction equipment mechanic in the Army, had a good job, but wanted to try to do something else, and this has been a great way for me to continue to give back. So what we can offer is if you have a VA disability claim that's in process or someone you know does and it's taking a really long time or seems like stuff just isn't moving right, you know, we just want people to give our office a call. We can't file benefits for people, but we can always help you get moving in the right direction if there's any issues. A good example is we had a gentleman last year who called, had an Agent Orange related cancer claim. And it had been over a year and the VA had yet to make a decision on his case. They had everything they needed to. It just got, you know, shuffled to the wrong stack of papers or who knows what happened. And with our office and a letter from Pete, we were able to get that straightened out in a day. So, yeah, definitely encourage people to reach out. I very privileged to serve in this way. And, yeah, thank you all for coming here tonight.
Okay, we'll now hear a message from Congressman Stauber.
Hello, everyone. Congressman Pete Stauber here. Today, on the 80th anniversary of D-Day, every American will pause to remember the members of the greatest generation who stormed the beaches of Normandy and began the liberation of Europe from Nazi tyranny. On this milestone anniversary, I am thinking of the service and courage of Minnesota's very own Eugene Trucano. Private First Class Trucano of Tower, Minnesota, worked as an ambulance driver in World War II, serving in the 463rd Medical Collecting Company. On D-Day, the 463rd Medical Collecting Company made their landing on Utah Beach, playing an essential role in the medical efforts during this critical phase of the invasion. While Eugene departed this life over 4 decades ago, the strength and unwavering courage that he displayed on D-Day will always be remembered. Due to his efforts and the efforts of Americans like him, the tide of the war was turned and the course of history was forever changed. To Eugene's daughters and other family members, please know that we are also grateful for his selfless valor. In honor of your father's heroism, my office is proud to present you with the European African Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 1 silver service star. It is my sincere hope that this medal reminds you all that our nation will never forget his service and courage under fire. God bless Eugene Trucano, and God bless all of America's veterans and service members. Thank you.
Before we move on with the medal presentation and the rest of the program, we have a post-World War II veteran that was in high school during the course of the invasion, or actually the liberation of Normandy Beach, Mr. Laurie Loxo, and he's here this evening. And he's going to give a little perspective on what it was like back in the day, the patriotism that everybody had, and how he, from high school, entered the branch of service because of that. And I'm here right now, and please introduce and give a welcome to Mr. Laurie Loxo. Mr. Loxo. And Mr. Loxo is here with his lovely wife, Betty. So.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of the City of Virginia.
Just use that.
Very good. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank the City of Virginia and all of the volunteers that helped put this event on. But one thing that really impresses me most about this period now and also during the Second World War, was the patriotic tone of the entire population. I graduated from high school in June of 1946 and enlisted in the Marine Corps Air Force within 1 week of graduation. So the war in Europe was basically over, but the war with Japan was still going strong. The Marine Corps had suffered considerable losses earlier in the war and was actively recruiting for replacements. I went to boot camp in San Diego for 12 weeks, followed by 4 weeks of rifle range training at a nearby rifle range. I was then assigned to the El Toro Marine Air Base in Santa Ana, California. This was basically a pilot training base for pilots of fighter planes, and it was also a repair facility. In the 2 years that I was There, about 3 or 4 planes suffered casualties while being trained. Most of the pilots were able to exit before crashing. My enlistment ended there in 1948. Very shortly, I enlisted in the Marine Corps Reserve, which was based in Duluth, Minnesota. After my military years, I attended the University of Minnesota and graduated under the GI Bill. After graduation with the University of Minnesota, I worked with U.S. Steel for 34 years at Mintec, both in accounting and industrial engineering. I retired in 1983 after a career of about 34 years. So, thank you.
You heard from Congressman Stauber, you heard from Mr. Loxo. You're going to hear from a representative from the Turcano family, and we are going to look at 3 examples of what it was really like and what the families experienced and what they remember about their family members, their fathers who served during World War II and was part of the liberation in the Normandy Beach on D-Day. So first, I'm going to ask Mr. Dan Hill to come forward. Mr. Hill is going to give a little presentation with respect to his father-in-law, Edward John Kotzian. Is Dan here? Thank you.
Private Edward John Kotzian. Private Kotzian joined the U.S. Army at Fort Snelling, Minnesota on June 13, 1942. He was initially stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, where he trained to become a paratrooper with the 2nd Battalion, 507th Parachute Infantry, 82nd Airborne Division. He made numerous training jumps within the United States before departing on a ship from Camp Shanks, New York, to Liverpool, England, in December of 1943. Also training in Ireland and Scotland for the sole purpose of preparing for the invasion. On June 5, 1944, Ed and the 507th departed England heading for Normandy. On June 6th, the paratroopers jumped behind enemy lines at 2:32 a.m. Unfortunately, the entire 507th missed their projected drop zone due to heavy enemy fire. Ed landed near St. Mère Église, where he engaged with German troops. On June 7th, he was wounded by shrapnel in the right shin. Then on June 8th, he was wounded again in the right leg by small arms fire. Ed was eventually captured by German forces on June 8, 1944. Later in life, Ed shared that if he had not understood a small amount of the German languages, since his parents were from Slovenia, he most likely would have not survived. The German soldier who found him wounded in the hedgerow ordered him to get up and walk, or he would kill him. After his capture, both wounds were treated by a German doctor. As a prisoner of war, Ed was initially brought to Starvation Hill in France and was then moved to Paris before taken into Germany, where he passed through many prisoner camps, ultimately ending up in Falkenberg, Germany, camp number 186. There he was used as the guards would actually have to protect the POWs from the civilians, for the civilians would have killed them. On April 13th, 1945, Ed was finally liberated by an American unit which was part of the 69th Division. He spent a few days fighting alongside the American soldiers in the area of Würzburg, Germany. On April 25th, Ed ended up in Torgau, Germany. It is unclear how he got from Germany to the United States, but ended up in South Florida Hospital, 40 pounds lighter. After medical treatment, Ed was transferred to Fort McClellan, Georgia, where he was discharged on October 30th, 1945. Whenever reflecting on his time as a POW, Ed would always comment that he had it a lot better than the POWs in Japan. Also, since he was in the 82nd Airborne Division, whose nickname is the All-American, the AA, when asked what his nationality was, he would always answer American.
What a powerful story. I mean, what an experience, Mr. Kotzian. I'd like to call up one of our members of this organization, Carolyn Deneen. Her father is World War II, served in the Normandy invasion, Staff Sergeant Richard Carroll Johnson. Carolyn?
Thank you, everyone. I want to welcome you to Virginia Elks Lodge 1003. I am the Loyal Knight, and I am so grateful to see everyone here to celebrate and honor those who gave their lives and who participated with bravery on D-Day. Mayor Cuffey asked me to share some of my reflections about my father. My dad, Richard Carroll Johnson, was born August 22nd, 1918, in Hetland, South Dakota. He enlisted in the Army 4th Cavalry Regiment following his high school graduation at Fort Meade, South Dakota. The 4th Cavalry Regiment is one of the most famous and most decorated regiments of the United States Army. Founded in 1855, it has served honorably since then, though did not participate in World War I. The regiment entered World War II in December 1943 and participated in the invasion of Normandy. My dad's unit landed on Omaha Beach. He rarely discussed that battle, but did describe how the landing ship tank carrying his invasion force anchored too far offshore, initially for the troops to land safely. He watched in horror as his unit's new second lieutenant, who carried a heavy Browning automatic rifle, stepped off the ramp and drowned in 25 feet of water. My dad was decorated by the French government for his bravery in that battle. The 4th Cavalry was awarded the coveted Croix de Guerre for their combat experiences during the invasion. My dad was awarded the equivalent decoration, a beautiful Swiss aviator's watch. He wore it proudly his entire life. My brother inherited the watch and cherished it. My dad served proudly and bravely throughout battles in France, England, and Germany. He became a staff sergeant and was wounded several times toward the end of the war. He spoke very little about his wartime experiences unless he was drinking with his brothers who had served. I learned about his wartime exploits by eavesdropping on the adults. He was awarded a battlefield commission to second lieutenant. It was short-lived, as he challenged the order of his superior officer when he believed the order would endanger my dad's men. That was my dad. The commission was rescinded. My dad was an outspoken, strong-willed man. He was fair, a hardworking businessman who assisted friends, neighbors, and family. The pivotal experience of my dad's wartime service was when his unit assisted the British forces to liberate Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in Germany. in April 1945. It had originally been a POW camp, but by then held over 60,000 prisoners who were dreadfully ill and starved and near death. After it was evacuated, the Allied forces burned it to the ground. I believe my dad suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder from the experiences in the concentration camp. He had horrific nightmares during much of my childhood related to the inhumanity he witnessed. His trauma was not recognized by the Veterans Administration. He did receive a small service-connected disability pension for the residuals of his multiple physical injuries. He carried wartime shrapnel his entire life and spent weeks in a military hospital. For his bravery in being wounded, my dad was awarded the Purple Heart and the Oak Leaf Cluster. After he died in September 1994, my family decided to donate his uniforms, his decorations, and all documents related to his service to the 4th Cavalry Regiment to the Fort Meade Museum. Fort Meade was established in 1855 and became the home of the 4th Cavalry Regiment. My sister and I and our children visited Fort Meade a few years before my dad died. It felt like a sacred place, dedicated to the generations of veterans who served our country so proudly. Our nation honored my father by offering him burial in Arlington National Cemetery. But my dad was a Minnesotan. He wanted to remain close to home. My dad and my mother rest in peace at the Fort Snelling National Cemetery in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My dad will always be my hero.
Eugene R. Trucano from Tower, Minnesota. His two daughters here today, sitting on my right. Mr. Trucano, this program was originally going to be designed as a very small event in honor of Mr. Trucano. But the Trucano family wanted this to be a bigger event, to not only honor the Trucano family, but all those others who served in Normandy and in World War II. So I thank you for including everyone in this event. Eugene R. Trucano, the 463rd Medical Collecting Company, Private First Class, ambulance driver and field medic, battles and campaign, Normandy, Utah Beach, Northern France, Ardennes Battle of the Bulge, Rhineland, and Central Europe. He was awarded the Silver Battle Star. He enlisted in the United States Army August 7th, 1942. Honorably discharged November 1st, 1945. 5 battles as a medic. Survived all 5 battles. A very rare occurrence. The average medic during that period of time lasted about a week, 2 weeks at the most. Mr. Trucano was blessed because he had a mission. That mission was to save as many lives as he could, and he did. So, in honor of all of you, those who spoke today, Mr. Hill, Carolyn, the Trucano family, Congressman Stauber, thank you for that powerful message. Today we have, of course, Congressman Stauber's aides here today to present, and the purpose here was to not only speak on behalf of Congressman Stauber, but proudly present the Battle Star Medal, the 5-star medal to Mr. Eugene Trucano posthumously, because the family didn't even know. Now it's time, 1945, when he was discharged, to now, 2024, 80 years, has finally come. So Andrea and Linda, please come forward. I call upon Mr. You're good. Mr. Workington and John Alarenta from Congressman Stauber's office to present you with the medals. Please come out front here, and we'll present you the medals that he proudly served. He was awarded. He fought bravely to earn these medals, and now they're presenting him here today in honor of your father. So, Mr. Workington, Mr. Alarenta.
And this is a flag that was flown over the U.S. Capitol.
Okay, the medals, if you want to open them up, we'll show you. This flag also was presented by Congressman Stauber, was flown over the Capitol in honor of Mr. Turkano.
Can I have them say something?
Yes.
I just want all of you to know that this is the greatest honor that we could ever expect to get as a family, and it's from Kentucky. And he's looking down, and as proud as we are, and thank all of you too. I think we all feel this. On behalf of my sister Linda Turkano, the family, and myself, we would like to thank Mayor Larry Cuffey, his support team for organizing this event and bringing us all together. The Elks Club, Congressman Stauber and his staff for the research in obtaining my dad's medals, and everyone copies. And this is such an honor, so thank you so much for that. And special thanks to all of you, who have participated in this 80th day of D-Day, June 6, 1944. Today is the day. So, I'd like to finish with this. Stephen Ambrose, who is an American historian, who's a writer of the Band of Brothers book, I'm sure many of you are familiar with this. This was a quote. The American citizen soldiers knew the difference between right and wrong, and they didn't want to live in a world in which wrong prevailed. Thank God for that, and God bless America.
Soon we're going to be calling up Mr. Jason Gellerstedt from the Vitamin Brown Band. He's going to be singing our America the Beautiful and God Bless America. But before we bring him forward, it's not only Eugene Turkano that served in World War II, Charles Turkano, Albert Turkano, Lawrence Turkano, Joe Turkano, and John Turkano all served in World War II. It was an honor. So, in honor of all of you, and those who spoke today about their families, I would like to bring forward Jason Gellerstedt, who has generously offered to sing God Bless America and America the Beautiful. So right now I'd like to introduce Mr. Jason Gellerstedt to sing God Bless America. So everyone please stand. Thank you.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Awesome. That was awesome. Awesome. Brings chills. Whew. Oh, please be seated. Thank you. Nothing in this program is political. Nothing in this program is going to state the facts, the casualties, all the facts and figures of what happened on D-Day. You can read about it. You can see it in the history books. You can watch the Band of Brothers. You can watch the History Channel. It has a lot of interviews and a lot of information about facts and figures. So today is the 80th anniversary of D-Day. We are all here to honor and remember the veterans who stormed the beaches and fought the battles to liberate the French people and ultimately Europe at Normandy. It is our duty, it is our commitment, and it is our responsibility to remember and respect the soldiers who lie in peace among the crosses beneath the sacred grounds of private and military burial sites across this great nation and on the beaches of Normandy. The countless hours without sleep, the challenges they faced, and their personal sacrifices are undisputed, and they can only be fully appreciated by those who serve beside themselves, with their friends, with their compadres, in loyalty, courage, and honor, and commitment. We can only imagine the horrors and anguish these soldiers experienced during this historic battle. Your loved one, your friend, your neighbor, and all the soldiers who we do not know, we must always remember and never forget the sacrifices for the love of country and the love of freedom. When a soldier dies, a part of America's heart aches, and masses mourn the loss of another American hero. Soldiers of honor, courage, loyalty, commitment, dedication, and sacrifice. For those who are buried beneath the sands of time, it matters not what branch of service you were in, what campaign you fought, what rank you attained, or what is etched on the gravestone. They were all soldiers, shepherds and protectors, a father, a wife, a brother, a sister, a grandfather, a grandmother, uncle, aunt, cousin, son, or daughter. American heroes. Our American heroes. As one World War II soldier stated in an emotional, forgotten interview from decades ago, his name is unknown, but the quote remains. We went over there to bring freedom to the people of Europe. We were the greatest country back then. That is why we are the United States of America. We stood together thick and thin as soldiers and one nation for one purpose in a time when the world needed us the most. We gave all, came back more appreciative than what we have. I firmly believe that. God bless my comrades who did not survive this campaign. I shall never forget them. The Lord protects them now. They live among the angels above. Soldiers who fought for our freedoms. They walk silently among us in spirit and memory. We may not know their names. We do not know their anguish, suffering, or their pain. But you, as part of their family, might. We never see their scars, but you as family members might. And some of you remember the stories that these brave soldiers told you, and you're passing on from generation to generation, as was shared here today by three very powerful examples of service. Do we remember these brave men and women? Yes, we do. We made a promise to never forget. And by the grace of God, we will honor them forever. That is why you and all of us are here today, to do that very thing, to honor and to remember. So God bless those soldiers. So now, what I'd like to do is call upon Jason Gellerstedt one more time to sing the song America the Beautiful. And then we'll move on to another presentation, a poem, ringing of the bells of honor, and then we'll conclude the ceremony. Mr. Gellerstedt, thank you.
For spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee. To shining sea, oh beautiful, for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. Amen.
We have one more presentation to make. And I want to thank Barb Mackey. Oh, she's a quilter. I don't know if she's here. Where's Barb? Are you here? Barb? There she is. There she is. Barb Mackey arranged a special presentation for the Turcano family, and I want to thank her for that. I think I know the name of the quilter, Lexi McDonald, okay? We're going to make a special presentation once again to the Turcano family, Linda and Andrea, and I'm going to ask Congressman Stauber and, I'm sorry, was it
Workington.
Workington, I'm horrible.
It's an old Mennonite name from southern Minnesota.
Old Mennonite name, okay. To help me as unfold this beautiful piece of honor and present that to the Turcano family. So stay seated just for one moment. the other way. So we're going to have them come forward in front of the podium here, and we're going to make that presentation to the two of you. This is a quilt of honor. And this, Lexi McDonald, Barb Mackey, and belong to this club. Whenever a soldier, regardless of what it is, they present this to the family for their service. And we'll come around here. We'll bring it around to you. We'll bring it around to you, Linda and Andrea. So, on behalf of Lexi McDonald and the group that they belong to, where they make these quilts of honor for soldiers. I mean, they do this voluntarily, and they make a lot of them. Barb Mackey, thank you for arranging this. And on behalf of all of us here today, particularly Congressman Stauber's office, Barb Mackey, Lexi McDonald, and the group that makes these for the honor of these soldiers, we proudly present to you, to your family, this quilt of honor.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
This is an amazing honor to have this, all these beautiful stitches and all the care and love that went into this. Like a forever treasure in your family. So thank you so much. It's an amazing, unexpected thing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Linda.
Hi, I'm Linda. One. I'm so impressed by being here and seeing all these people who are also here to support what is happening today. And I thank all of you so very, very much for coming and showing your support. And I know my parents are looking down from heaven, and mom and dad are dancing on jig. And we are so happy to know that our family made a wonderful contribution to America. Thank you. Those of you that knew my father, I think many of you did, he was a quiet, kind, compassionate man, and I don't know if he'd be dancing a jig, but he'd be having that sweet smile on his face looking down, so thank you.
So, for those of you who are Elks members, if you are, please raise your hand. Okay. So, the Elks Lodge has a motto. Whenever there's a death of a member, we ring the 11 tokes of the bell to remember them. Permission was granted by the Exalted Ruler and the staff to use these chimes to recognize and remember those who have passed in the service of the country, particularly during the Normandy liberation. So, if you bear with me, I'd like to ring the 11 tokes, and then we'll have a final poem. We shall meet, but we shall miss them. There are the vacant chairs. But though we no longer possess them, still our hearts in memory bear But a while ago we gathered, friendship beaming in each eye. Now the golden sword has severed. They have passed to realms on high. We would like to conclude this 80th anniversary celebration for D-Day and hope that we'll have an 81 and 82 on and on and on. Even those who we should be remembering every single day. Somehow one day, gathering all you here today, taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and honor those who have served in World War II and all the service members. We had Vietnam's Veterans Day. We had All Services Day. We have Labor Day. We have all these days. But D-Day is just a little mark on a calendar. Not today, not now, not here. We're honoring and remembering D-Day. So we'd like to conclude with this poem. And it was written by a soldier, from my understanding. I found this in my dad's things after he passed away, all his military things. He had all kinds of things. He had a little book, and in that book was this little poem. And it says this: "We walked among the crosses where our fallen soldiers lay, and listened to the bugle as taps began to play. The chaplain led a prayer. We stood with heads bowed low, and I thought of fallen comrades I had known so long ago. They came from every city across this fertile land that we might live in freedom. They lie here beneath the sand. I felt a little guilty. My sacrifice was small. I only lost a little time. But these men, they lost their all. Now, this service is over for this Remembrance Day. To the names upon the crosses, we just want to say, thank you for what you've given. No one could ask for more. May you rest with God in heaven, from now to evermore." Thank you, everybody. The service is now ended. Before you go, I want to thank everybody for coming. It was a very solemn service and very respectful one, I think, and thank you for coming. I thank Congressman Stauber's office and his staff for doing so, Jason Gellerstedt from Vitamin Brown for singing wonderful songs, and for the three, Mr. Hill and Mr. Turcano and Ms. Deneen, for sharing the stories of the family members who proudly served in the performance of their country to keep this country free. So before we leave today, again, there are flags up on the table, on the bar. Please take one with you, and at 9 o'clock tonight, put a light on your porch, shine a flashlight, go outside, and wave that flag at 9 p.m. to remember D-Day. There are 70 World War II D-Day veterans that are in France right now celebrating the cemetery that's actually the American cemetery that's on the beaches of Normandy. And one of those World War II veterans is 107 years old who made that trip. So we all remember that. And on the back table, there are a bunch of hats. United States, hats, USA hats, Vietnam veteran hat, whatever. They're all brand new, all donated. So as you leave, first come, first serve, grab one for your family member. If you're a vet, take one with you. And you see these flags that are stacked along the wall. Those are replacement flags for grave sites. If you need a new one, take 1, 2, 3, wherever you like. So once again, thank you, Mr. Hill, for the nice tribute to Mr. Kotzian, and Cheryl Deneen for your Staff Sergeant Carroll, and of course, the Turcano family for Eugene Turcano and all the brothers. So on behalf of all of us, thank you for coming. Have a great evening.